pass out life jackets. They're located in the lockers either side of the helmet and back in the boat. We'll give you a demonstration of how to put those on and help you fit them to small children as required at the time. If somebody were to fall off the boat or otherwise end up in the water in distress, the important thing is we know about it as soon as possible. Point at the person, look at the person, keep your eyes on them, don't keep your eyes off them, and say in your loudest voice, and overboard. Best chance to get them back on board safely. You can also throw them a little life ring from the back deck, but I can tell you the person in the water is having a pretty bad day already. So try not to hit them in the head with the life ring. Instead, just throw it in the water within arm's reach. There is complimentary tea coffee available at the bar. John's going to make one for you, and small children must be supervised by an adult at all times, unless you don't want small children. Commentary for the first half. Once we turn the boat around, we'll put some music on. Go back down straight. Yeah, I just realised I only start the commentary a little bit earlier, so I don't have a lot. Here we've got the rowing sheds coming up here on the right hand side. Different rowing teams from all different universities and schools. A big symbol here in Melbourne, which is a fantastic scene. The rowers on the river. Even if it does sometimes can be headaches. It's a bit crowded. All the way up there, we've got that lovely tiled statue, the angel. Used to be really the face of Melbourne. It was right in front of Melbourne Museum. With changing times, changing tastes in art, it's got moved to a slightly more discreet place. But it's here for our enjoyment today. But that is what angels look like. I'm a little bit worried about we go to heaven. 2 heads and 3 legs. It's unclear if it's coming or going. Now, the Arrow's going to flag people say it's dirty, gross, brown, polluted, but dirtiness in the water is not pollution, rather it's naturally suspended clay sediments when water falls in the upper catchments of the river, floats downstream, and that's where we get the murkiness from. Once upon a time it would have been clearer, but agriculture and industrial processes upstream have changed that composition, and downstream we've widened, straightened and deepened the river so many times. It's murkier than what it otherwise would have been. The main source of pollution we have in the river is that surface pollution, the litter that gets dropped in the street by ordinary people. Because anything that gets dropped in the street gets washed down into the storm drains and out into the river. A lot of it gets caught by those rubbish traps, and we'll see a few of them scattered along the river. Every few weeks we see big sharks come along with their barge, and they have a little dozer and they pick up all the rubbish out of the rubbish traps and put it into a bin skip. So that we should skip some of those steps and be put back in the first place, cut down on the double handling. Especially as not all the rubbish ends up in those rubbish traps. Some of it flows downstream out into the bay and the ocean beyond. I've certainly been on beaches where very few people have ever stepped. And they've been washed with rubbish brought there on ocean currents from different parts of Australia, different countries, even different continents. Good reminder to be mindful of our rubbish. There's also that lovely hand-carved wombat sitting under the tree over there. Carved out of a single piece of timber. One interesting fact about wombats is they're the only animal in the world to have square-shaped poos. I didn't know that. This was so interesting to entrepreneurially design a highly new manufacturing process based on the lower intestine of the wombat. Push things into square shapes rather than to design entirely new manufacturing process if you could push things into square shape rather than getting blocks and then cutting off the sides and cut down the waste. You see the rowers box coming up here on the right hand side where rowing competitions have been judged for something going on like a century. Back in the 1930s we had one of the most patronised sporting events in Australia's history for the Australian Rowing Championships with over 100,000 spectators here on the banks of the Yarra. It was quite a raucous affair by all accounts with lots of partying and drinking. There's even a rumour that by the end of the day you only had to have the lane closest to the judge's box to win your division, so perhaps they were going to get tips to just run down the first boat they saw. The next Next on the right is the Sydney Way Music Dome, built by Sydney Way. It was a great patron of the arts, great open air venue. Most of us know it's a place to see carols by candlelight. Sydney Way arrived in Sydney, chose the name Sydney for himself. Migrant. It wasn't some strange coincidence. He started his career shining shoes. Realized there was a business opportunity to be made selling shoelaces. Went on to own one of the largest retail outlets in Australia. Yes, up there on the right is the flag of the governors or residents of Victoria. The flag flying there suggests that the governor of Victoria is in residence, not interstate or overseas. Interestingly, when Australia first became a country in 1901, Canberra didn't exist. They had to build it. So until then, the seat of government of Australia was actually here in Melbourne. The Governor-General lived in that government house. The Governor of Victoria got kicked out and had to hang out in some absolutely awful place called Stockton Mansion. Finally, by 1927, the new Governor-General's residence in Canberra was completed, but for some